We'll just wait for a couple of more minutes and then see if everybody joins, and then we will start.
Joined.
Yes, today we will start with our aptitude classes. I would suggest all of you keep your mics on mute, and you can keep your videos on. You can keep videos on, but mic on off. Whenever you are talking, anything, if any doubt is there, so that time you all can ask the doubts. So I think now almost everybody has joined. Yes, others, everybody can keep their videos on.
Kwanza nimeshikwa na imeanza Prepositions. Madam,
Yes.
is this part of logical reasoning or it is part of what? Grammar?
This is grammar we will be discussing today. Communication skills, no. We will be doing the grammar part. Aptitude class, this is.
Okay, thank you.
Communication class you have from, I think, 4:30 to 6, right? This is your aptitude class. Today, the first aptitude is there, class is there. In the verbal aptitude, whatever will come, we will be discussing today. And I'll discuss about something related to the grammar also in today's class. Fine?
Okay.
So everybody is able to see the screen? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we are going to discuss in this class of grammar, in the further classes also, if I talk about, we will be talking about the parts of speech. When you tell the parts of speech, could you tell me what are the different parts of speech?
The parts of speech we have noun, pronoun, verbs, adjective,
Oh.
adverbs, preposition, and conjunction. We have 8 parts of speech.
Yes. So there are 8 parts of speech. We will discuss about all of them. Some of you may be knowing about them. If you know, it is good, but you should know how the questions are asked related to this parts of speech. So if your concepts related to parts of speech is clear, then it helps you to solve a lot of questions which are associated with your grammar, like different ways how they can ask. They'll ask you the questions related to the sentence corrections. They'll ask you the questions in terms of filling the blanks will be there. Sometimes rearranging the sentence will be there. So others, if you are not getting unnecessary sound is coming from your side, which is disturbing the class, kindly keep yourself on mute. Keep yourself on mute, but keep your you want, you can keep your videos on. Otherwise, I have to put
Mute everybody.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, put yourself on mute. Otherwise,
How
I
are
put
you,
mute
ma'am?
all. I've put everybody on mute now. Right. So now what we were discussing was, so the parts of speech, the different parts of speech we will be talking about, right? As he has told. And
صدق انا عنه ولا تمشي مع كلامي بس الصدق هذا تمشي في هناك بس
yeah. So now the next one is the prepositions. So prepositions are the words which are used to join or the nouns and the pronouns in the sentence to the other group of words in the same sentence. So in this, if you know the examples of prepositions, it will be very useful for you to find out the questions or solve the questions which are relevant to your subject-verb agreement. So if you know prepositions, if you know your parts of speech, then it becomes pretty easy for you to solve the questions which are relevant to your subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement questions could come in the form of the filling the blanks or sentence corrections or rearranging the sentences. So the different ways how the questions are framed in the paper in terms of grammar. But your concepts need to be really, really very strong to get all these questions correct. And there's no rocket science in grammar. If you pay attention and attend all the classes properly, definitely I'm sure you would be able to get all the questions correct. Then comes the tenses. There are different tenses, like we have the present tense, past tense, future tense, and then these tenses also are further divided into different types of tenses, like the present perfect tense is there, present continuous is there, simple present is there, which tends to use when. This is what you have to learn in the tenses part also. Then subject verb agreement topic, if we come, it says like the any sentence, no matter where you write, right, even if you read also, you should pay attention that in every sentence the subject verb agreement is there. That is, if you have a singular subject, the verb should be singular. If you have a plural subject, the verb should be plural. So that's the whole point related to subject verb agreement. There are a lot of rules related to subject verb agreement, which we will discuss later on. Then we have pronoun antecedent. See, in our parts of speech itself, I will teach you about the pronouns examples and all. And then we talk about the pronoun antecedent. The antecedent is a noun to which your pronoun refers. Right? So you can make a note of it. Antecedent is a noun to which your pronoun refers. We all know that we use pronouns to avoid the repetition of the noun, right? The noun to which your pronoun refers is called as the antecedent. And now agreement has to be there in terms of pronoun and noun agreement, right? That's called as the pronoun antecedent agreement. Then the next question related to which topic of the grammar related to which the questions come is parallelism. Parallelism means if you have any list, all the items in the list must be in the same format. Either all should be in the present tense, past tense, or future tense. Or if it is in the form of the list of nouns, then all the items should be either in the noun formats or the verb format or adjective format. You cannot have two items in the noun and one in adjective, or two in the infinitive form and one in the participle form. All the items should be in the same format in a list. That is called as parallelism. Then idioms. Now idioms is all depends upon your standard English. What do you say? Like this is how it comes, right? You the more you have read in English, the more you will be getting comfortable with the idioms part. So idioms, like you have a proper dictionary related to idiomatic phrases, but whatever the general idioms are there which are coming in your exams, that we will discuss later on in the further classes, right? Then standard English usage. So what are the different words which we have to use? Like commonly confused words are there. In a particular context, which word should be used? That is all forms under the standard English conventions. So we have to follow grammar, we have to follow the punctuations, we have to follow the style, the formal, informal tone, depending upon the kind of topic which has been discussed. This is all called as the standard English conventions, right? Clear everyone till here this slide? You can make a note of what is written over here on this. लिख लीजिए अपनी notes में quickly. I hope everybody has written. Then we'll do the next slide. So first we will start with the parts of speech. Are you able to see my screen? I'll share again. Okay. So we were discussing about your parts of speech. The most important part which I would like to know is the verb, right? So when we talk about the verb, the doing words are called as the verb. The doing words are called as the verbs. So can you give me some examples of the verbs? Can you give some examples of verbs? Yes. Speak. Yeah, you can unmute yourself, Noble.
Known, take, eat, go.
It is a pronoun. It's not the verb.
Ma'am, sorry ma'am.
Could you please repeat?
Eat, E-A-T, eat.
It is a pronoun. It is not the verb.
Ma'am, IT not E-A-T. E-A-T, eat, E-A-T.
DID, did.
E-A-T. Ma'am, 1 minute. Ma'am, can you able to see me?
Yes.
Remember, E-A-T, eat.
EAT, eat.
Yes, it.
Huh.
Eat.
Eat is a verb. Then.
Known.
Hmm.
Take, no.
Hmm.
Take part. Go.
Okay. So read, write, go, sing, talk. These are the verbs, right?
Yes.
So the action verbs are what? The words which tells us what the subject is doing. Like suppose if I say read, or if I say write, or if I say sing, these are your verbs, action verbs, right? Now in the verbs itself, we have something called infinitive. Make a note of the notes. Infinitive is 2 plus verb is called as infinitive. If I say 2 plus verb is called as infinitive. Like to have, to seem, to go, to speak, to believe. These are all your examples of infinitives. These are all the examples of your infinitives. Right? Write it down. Now, we have to see that irregular forms of verbs are also there, which are forms of to be and to have. The forms of to be are what? If you talk about to be, right? The forms of to be are is, are, was, were, and am. These are the forms of to be. Now, if you talk about forms of to have,
Has, had.
yes, it has to be have, has, and had. 1 second, I'll just put the charger for my laptop. Yeah, so it's on charger. So now what I was telling you was the forms of to be are have, has, and had.
To have, ma'am, to have. Not to be.
The forms of to have are have,
Has, had.
has, the
Had.
next one is
Had.
right? Now these are the forms of irregular verbs, and then we have to look at the singular and the plural forms also, because we will do the subject verb agreement, right? With the subject I, always the M will come, right? With you, this is second person, always the plural form of the verb only will come, like you are. Third person, he, she, it, one is there. So if it is singular, we'll use the singular form of the verb is. Is singular, are is plural. Was is singular, were is plural. Clear? Was singular, were is plural, is singular, are is plural.
Plural.
Clear? Write down what is
Yes.
on the board quickly. All of you write it down, take down notes. And keep everybody on mute so that it should not be the disturbance. Now the next one is singular and plural forms of verbs only we were doing. So with the I, we can have the plural form of the verb I have. With you also we'll use the plural form of the verb only. Has is singular and have is plural. Has and have are the verbs. Has singular, have is plural. Then we talk about the number of the subjects like I, you, he, she, it. These are all the singular nouns or the pronouns, the singular subjects. With the singular subject, the verb will always be singular. So he speaks. Speaks is singular. With I, it will not be. You also, it will not be. He, she, it, one speaks. So singular verb ends with S. Like if you talk about the singular verb, it will be reads. He reads. He writes. He speaks. But when you talk about the plural verb, it will be they read, they write, they speak. The singular verb ends with S. Write down. In present tense, singular verb ends with S. Now the different types of tenses which comes across for you is like she speaks. It's a present tense, right? She has spoken is the present perfect tense. Simple past will be she spoke. She had spoken is the past perfect. Whereas there are some conditional sentences also. In conditional sentences, it will be he would, she would speak. Would speak is conditional. Would have spoken is the past conditional. Will speak is the future tense. Will have spoken is the future perfect. These are the major tenses on which the questions are asked on the any of the aptitude test. You can write it down this part quickly. Yes, so I hope everybody has gone through. Now the nouns. The naming words are called as the nouns. So any name. Like we have two types of the nouns, the proper nouns and the common nouns. The common noun is a noun in general, which is not referring to anything specific, whereas the proper noun is referring to the specific nouns. So you have girl, bicycle, house, and all are the common nouns. Pronouns are the words which we use instead of the nouns. Now, all of you should make a note of the examples of the pronouns. Like here, these examples are given over here. He, she, it, they, them, one, those, both, some. This, even if you learn them, they will help you to solve. Okay, fine, you'll know these are the pronouns, right? We use pronouns to avoid the repetition of the nouns, and they are used in place of the nouns only. They are used in place of the nouns, and we use them so that we can avoid the repetition of the nouns, right? So you have to make a list of these nouns. Then we have the persons also, like the first person, second person, third person, right? So first, second, and the third person. So the first person is singular I. First person singular is always I. First person plural is we. Second person singular is you. Second person plural is you. Third person singular is he, she, it, one. And the third person plural is they. You have to remember them because they will be useful in the subject-verb agreement. Just now I told you with I, we'll always use the plural form of the verb. Plus we will use am. With you also, whether it is singular or plural, we'll always use the plural form of the verb. That is the reason you should know the subject-verb agreement rule is applicable only to the third person. So what are the third person? He, she, it, one. Ye sara kuch, these are all your third person pronouns. Clear? Nod your heads if you're able to follow. I've put everybody on mute because a lot of disturbance was coming. So now keep a note of it. Quickly write it down. You can see it on the board. Jaldi se likho. Write down fast. Then we'll move further. Write it down quickly. Everybody has written. Shall we move further now? Okay. So next I'll move further. Now prepositions. I told you in the first slide itself, the prepositions are very important. They help us to know the connectivity between the two nouns and the pronouns, like how they are related to, right? It talks about what happened to someone or something and when it happened. It talks the connectivity, right? Indicates where someone or something is or when something has happened. Now here, if you look at it, the dog ran under the fence. So under is a preposition. It tells where exactly the dog ran. He ran under. So under is a preposition. And jumped into the neighboring yard. So where exactly he jumped into? Into is a preposition. Then we have in only a matter of seconds. So in what? In a matter of seconds. So always remember a preposition will always have the object. Write it down. Write it down. Please write down the notes when I'm teaching you. This will be useful for you when you solve your questions. A preposition will always have the object. It's not written on the slide. Please write down. A preposition will always have the object. And the object of preposition will always be either a noun or a pronoun. Write down. An object of preposition will always be a noun or a pronoun. Nobel, don't keep looking. Write it down. Object of preposition will always be either a noun or a pronoun. Next, you should write object of prepositional phrase can never be the subject of the sentence. जल्दी से लिखिए. Object of prepositional phrase can never be the subject of the sentence. Object of prepositional phrase can never be the subject of the sentence. Yeah, Walid, Bamataraf, what you want? You have raised your hand. If I'll allow you to unmute, then what happens? No, you like start talking. I don't want you all to keep talking and disturb me. Yes, whoever raised hand, if you have something, you speak up, beta. I'm not going through the chat every time. Please repeat. See, the object of prepositional phrase cannot be the subject of the sentence. Object of prepositional phrase cannot be the subject of the sentence. Written? Now, the next thing is how to find the object. So first thing is we'll find the preposition. So in this particular sentence, under is a preposition. So I'll ask the question, under what? Under the fence. So from under till fence is the prepositional phrase. It is used as the filler in the sentences to avoid like subject verb agreement ke beech mein they'll create a gap so that you get confused, right? Into what? Into the neighboring yard. This is again a prepositional phrase. In what? In only a matter. This is the third phrase. Of what? Of seconds. So this is again the phrase. You just have to ask who or what after the preposition. Now it will be very difficult for you to figure out the prepositional phrase if you don't know the examples of prepositions. So I want each and every one of you to copy this list of prepositions from this book just now, whatever I have written now, this box I am making. From this box, all of you write it down. Now, as a homework, what you will do, you will write down this list 5 times and memorize these examples of prepositions. You will understand the importance of this when we will do the subject verb agreement questions. Jaldi se pass, you write down this, and once you have done, you will tell me that you have written. Quick.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, what about, ma'am, are we about to get this PDF after the class? Like, can you share it to us? It will be very easy for us to cover it up if we have any doubt or anything.
I have no idea whether I'll be able to share or not. I'll discuss with the Ashish about it and I'll let you know. I'm giving you time about writing it down. No, but I take down the notes as of now. Later on, we'll see.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. As of now, I'm giving you the thing and I'm dictating you. Just focus little bit. You will see slowly. The later on the questions will be given to you. No, then that time this will be. And moreover, even if this PDF is there, the rules which I'm telling you is not written in any book now.
No.
Okay, I hope everybody has written down the examples of prepositions. Now, the next one is you have to write the, we have to see the adjectives. Now, what are adjectives? Others, please keep yourself on mute. Otherwise, you will not be able to ask your doubts if I put mute all and not allow you to unmute yourself. You want me to do that? Starting Ishia, you have raised your hands, but fine, you put yourself on mute. Don't disturb the class by putting a lot of music and unnecessary sound, please. Yeah, so adjectives are the words which are used to modify nouns and the pronouns. So any word which modifies or describes a noun or a pronoun is called as the adjective. So all of you can write down this definition. Adjectives modify the nouns and the pronouns.
Ma'am,
1,500, you know.
ma'am, ma'am,
हाँ बोलो बोलो बोलिए, speak.
ma'am, I would recommend you to mute everyone, and if any doubt is there, you can check the chat box, ma'am.
Yes,
Good.
please, because
But there are students who are asking so many
people.
questions in the chat
Yes.
box.
हाँ.
Hello,
So
madam.
I've muted everybody because unnecessary sounds, y'all are not behaving like adults. You're so big, I'm telling you to keep yourself mute if you're not speaking. Why are you keeping yourself on unmute and not asking doubts? If you're asking doubt, if you're talking to me, that is the only time you're supposed to be unmute. Otherwise, it disturbs the class, right? And so many students are there, 39, 40 students are there, and so many students will start chatting. How will I teach? So adjectives are the words which are used to modify nouns and the pronouns. Write it down. Now, there are certain words which are pure adjectives. No matter where you write it down, they'll always be adjectives like pretty, interesting, solid, wide, exceptional, smart. They are always adjectives. Now, anything which tells, like the class was boring. So what kind of a class it was? It was a boring class. The word boring is telling something more about the class. So this boring is the adjective over here. The stunning view left him at a loss of words. So what kind of a view it is? It is a stunning view. So stunning is telling something more about the noun view. That is the reason this is called as the adjective. Clear? Now, next one is your adverbs. Now, an adverb can modify three things. It can modify the verb. Please write it down. Adverbs can modify the verb. They modify adjectives. They modify another adverb also. The common ending for the adverb is ly. That most of the words can end with ly. And it's very easy to simple to convert an adjective into an adverb by adding ly. Like interesting is adjective, but interestingly is an adverb. Slow is adjective, but slowly is adverb. Beautiful is adjective, beautifully is adverb. It's a common ending, but not always. Understand? It's a frequently end, not always. So verbs, adverbs can modify three things. The first one, they can modify verbs, they can modify adjectives. Third, they can modify another adverbs. Kapinga, you are raising your hand every time. Right? So she smiled brightly at him when he entered the room. So the smiled is the verb over here, and you ask how exactly she smiled. She smiled brightly. The brightly is telling something more about smiled. So brightly is adverb over here. The next one is he received an exceedingly good grade in the test. So now grade is a noun. To what kind of a grade? It's a good grade. So good is adjective over here. Now, to what extent it is good? It is exceedingly good. So good exceedingly is telling something more of an adjective. So it's an adverb. You got an example of adverb modifying the adjective also. Clear? Now we have conjunctions. Conjunctions are the words which can join three things. They can join two words, they can join two phrases, they can join two clauses also. Write down the definition. Conjunctions can join words, phrases, and clauses. Examples of conjunctions are given over here, like and, but, however, therefore, so, although. Write it down, this list quickly. Write down. Done, everyone? Now, the different types of questions, how they can ask is they will give you the sentences and they'll tell that how you can rearrange them in the form of a paragraph, right? So we'll try and do one question. You are able to see my screen, everyone? Okay, so now this is says that once you have done all this, rearrange the following sentences in a proper sequence to form a meaningful paragraph. So in the paragraph, this is how a question could be asked based on your grammar. So they are asking you to create a paragraph, right? So I want you all to do this. Do this. How will you do it? I'll take 2-3 minutes, 3 minutes to solve this question. All of you solve it. Yes. So what will be the first sentence? So first one is saying see. Okay, so I get the answer as C. Some are saying F. Now, F cannot be the first sentence because it says thus. Thus means it's a conclusion. Now, look at the sentences. It says, however. You cannot start a sentence with the however. Right? You cannot start the sentence with the however because it's a contrast, right? The first sentence has to introduce certain things, right? A topic has to be introduced. Then, since then, again, it is talking about the reference. Since when? Then should refer to something, right? So, be also cannot be there. You see, I'm not reading the complete sentence and I'm looking at it. In earlier days, people learnt by reading out loud. Yeah, this is making one statement. It is very much okay. Like, it could be the candidate for the first sentence. We'll keep it on a hold. But not everybody use the same punctuations for the same thing. Now here it is talking about the punctuation. So we have not used the punctuation in the first sentence. So it cannot be. To address this problem, various sign depictive, various punctuations were introduced. Now what was the punctuation thing? We don't know. Thus the firmer guidelines regarding the punctuation was framed so that. So thus is something which is relevant to the conclusion. So we understood what should be the first sentence. First sentence should be C. The last sentence should be F. Yes? Right? Now, the first sentence ke baad mein, the first sentence should be C. And then after that we can say however while reading. Because in this, the reading out loud is given. In this, and then the reference to reading is again given in A. That while reading, they would not know when to pause and what to emphasize. So first one will be C. After C, we will have A. And then there is a problem with that. With that reading out loud, they were not able to know where to stop and what to emphasize. So from that time, they started regularized a punctuation. So it has to be first C, then A, then B. Then in the B, they have introduced the punctuations. Then it should be contrast to that. Right? So what was the problem? Now, if you look at it, they say there is a problem over there. Where the previous sentence? Yeah. So to address this problem, right? Now, so first has to be C, then has to be B, and then E. So it has to be C, A, E, B, and then D, and then F. Clear? Everyone? So if you are able to figure out the first and the last sentence also, sometimes you can use, because you'll have the options which will tell you what is the A, B, C, D and all. So first and the last sentence, if you find out, you can eliminate the answers which are not starting with that same first and the last sentence. Now, the second question, I'll give you the time to do it. Do this question. the first sentence has to be something relevant to the introduction. Initially, the family does not want the decent girl going all around. So you're talking about initially that the introduction is being given that the family does not want the decent girl going all around. But then they also worry that she might not be able to defend herself in case of trouble. Then they say, understandably, the newly married woman herself want to spend more time with the family. Now, first thing is they don't family. First, they're saying the family doesn't want the girl to go around. At the same time, the girl also want to spend more time, right? Right. So once the marriage is done, then the lot of pressure is there. So it should be D, A, C, and then they also worry. Retaining, and then the conclusion should be what? The retaining female workers at door-to-door sales job is just as hard to as ever, right? Why it is hard as ever? Because the family does not want the decent girl to go around. Then they say that understandably the newly married also wants to spend more time. They also worry. Once married, the in-laws exert, and they also worry. So it should be first retaining. What is the main thing? It cannot be D. It has to be starting with E. Retaining female workers as door-to-door jobs is just as hard as ever. Why? Now the answer to that is the family does not want. And then on top of that, the newly married also there. And then once she is married, the in-laws exerts a lot of pressure, similar cause for the security. And then she also wants to stay at home. And they also worry that, who worry that these in-laws, this they refers to, we know that first C should come and after that D will come, because this they refers to C. Clear? Everyone? Yes, no? Let me have a look at the chat. Right? So we cannot start with D. It has to be with the statement. Right? The statement retaining for female workers. Somebody is asking me to repeat. I'll explain. See, the first statement has to be about the statement. The statement is to retain the female workers door-to-door sales job is very difficult. The reason behind that is the family does not want the decent girls going all around. Right. On top of that, once the girls get married, they put a lot of pressure to stay at home due to the security. Right. They also worry that she might not be able to save herself. Right. And then they also understand that the newly married. So it has to be E, D. And then first C, E, D, C, B, and A. E, D, C, B, and A. Okay. Now the next question we will do. So again, they have given you F sentences. I told you make sure that the first sentence should have some concept. Some concept should be introduced over there. Do this. Yes, able to do. Everybody is able to do or not? Let me see, 7 messages have come. C, D, C, A. So first C is unemployment is this correct. Then next one is say it is in fact it according to me it is inevitable to the economy. Fine, you are saying A. Some are saying F. It has to be C and F. And then we can say A. It has to be C, F, A. C, F, A, and then this A is correct. Clear? Now we will do some questions related to parts of speech also. This was the question set which will come in your exam, right? We will discuss about something related to the grammar in terms like subject verb agreement and all, when where the preposition should be placed and all. For that, it is important that we know the parts of speech, right? So I'll share something else where we will do the questions wherein I'll give you the sentences. You have to tell me which part of the speech it is. So I explained you all the parts of speech. I want you to find out the different parts of speech which are given over here. Like the underlying part is what? Noun, pronoun, verb. What exactly is? 1 to 7 questions you do. Shanta, So I hope everybody has done this. You can see a lot of people have written. Okay. So I'll tell you the first one is they. They is a pronoun. Number one is a pronoun. Second one is tended. That is verb. Third one is preposition from. Fourth one is verb. Were. Then we have the fifth one is conjunction. Sixth is verb. Seventh is adverb. Eighth is again the verb. Make a note of it, all of you. Okay. Everybody has written this, taken down the answers. Okay. Now, Kapinga is sleeping aram se. Get up and study. Don't just sleep. You're attending the class or sleeping? Lying down and coolly enjoying. Take notes also. Now do from 9 to 11 quickly. 9 to 11. I want answers from everybody. And nobody will sleep. Keeping the video on and sleeping. Okay, we'll discuss the questions now. Temporary structure. So structure is the noun. Now what kind of a structure it is? It is a temporary structure. So temporary is adjective over here, right? Then we have the other was intended. Intended is the verb. Then by. By is a preposition. Write it down. Adjective, verb, preposition quickly. Let me see what the majority of you have answered in the adverb. Where is adverb? Adverb is wrong. Verb is correct. Preposition is correct. ठीक है, चलिए, तो we will move further. There are some more questions. 12 to 18. Do them. Yes, done. Okay, so let's discuss. So brief camping. So what type of the camping trips? They are brief trips. So this is the adjective. Then we have the remain. Construction remain the same. Remain is a verb over here. Purpose. Purpose is a noun. Then we have it. It is a pronoun. It is a pronoun. Of is a preposition. Surprisingly is an adverb. Ly I told you is an common ending for adverb. Then we have done to reduce. It's an infinitive form of the verb. To plus verb is infinitive. Right? Write it down all this. Then we'll do remaining. Fine. Now do from 19 to 25. Done. Okay, 19th is verb. I is a verb. I gave you the example. It's a verb. Then because is a conjunction. Additional is adjective. Then we have in is a preposition. Then heat is a noun. Then we have contributes is the verb. On is the preposition. Write it down. Done, everyone? Shall we move further? Yes? Okay. So I'll share another thing. We'll do some more other questions. So till here, everybody has understood how to do some questions of rearranging the sentences, how to do the, like, finding out the prepositions or verb, adjectives and all. This part of speech part will help you later on when we'll do some other questions, right? And it helps you also in filling the blanks and all those type of the questions. I'll share some other slides with you. One moment. Yes. Okay, till this one we have already done. Now we'll do some more questions, like again you have to rearrange it into the form of the paragraph. Again, remember the first sentence will give the introduction to the ideas. The remaining sentences will give support to the whatever is the main idea, and the last sentence should give some conclusion. So do this question quickly. Do this. Okay, yes, anyone? Ready? So only one person has given the answer as of now. What is that? EACFDB. Only one? What about others? So we look at the sentences. If it says development of the drought resistant could benefit large number of farmers, it's a statement given, but then hence the human race has no choice but to adapt these impacts. So these impacts should refer to some impact, right? So this second one cannot be the first sentence. India has to be concerned about the climatic changes. Why India has to concern about the climatic changes? This impact, now again the impact is talking about this, so we can see D and B could be related to each other. Environment today is thus an important occasion to access the past and the future. This thus is coming, so that's why E should be the last sentence. There is a possibility of adverse impact on agriculture which could deter growth. So what should be the first sentence? The first important thing can be that India has to be concerned about the climatic changes. So why it has to be concerned about the calamity? There is a possibility of adverse impact of agriculture which could deter because the climatic change, right? So, and then there is this impact can run into decades and centuries. And then they say development resistance could bring large number of farmers, right? And then say hence you talk about the resistance, and then you say B, that because A will come first and then the B will come. And then in the end should be E. Environment Day is thus an important occasion to access the past and our future. Clear? Everyone understood? Okay. You everybody can see somebody saying repeat. Okay, fine. So the first thing is India has to be concerned. India has to be concerned about the climatic changes, right? So why India has to be concerned? Because the possibility of adverse impact on agriculture. So first C then F will be there, and then we are talking about the adverse impact, right? So this impact, that adverse impact, this impact can run into the so C, F, D, then B, right? Then A, and then the last one will be E. Clear? Now the next type of questions which will come for you is, yeah, so they say that the another type of the questions which can come in your exam is about the statement and the conclusion type of questions will come. When you say statement and the conclusion, they will say like two premises will be given, like A and B. There are two statements which are given. Premise means the statement, and from those two conclusions 1 and 2 are drawn. Now you have to select the quotes that states the conclusion or conclusions drawn validly taking premises singularly or jointly. So you can take them singular as well as joint, and you see the validation is there or not. So it says all windows are needles. This is the first statement which has been made. Then some trees are windows. Then some trees are needles. Some trees are not needles. It's a reasoning type of the question which is coming, right? So you have to tell whether it is only one is correct, or it is only two, or both 1 and 2 are the conclusions of the statement, or neither 1 and 2. So when it says all windows are needles, so make one circle, and in that you can write there are all needles, windows are all needles. Then they're saying some trees are all windows also. So then we have certain trees, and those trees are windows, and we know all the windows are needles. So that means some of them are trees also. So that means A makes sense. So only some trees are needles, but there are certain trees which are not needles because they are not matching with windows. So A and B, first one and the second one, both the conclusions are correct for both A and B. So it has to be Delhi. Look into it quickly. Do this question now. Okay, what is the answer to this? No bird is a mammal, some birds are cat. Some cats are not mammals. Yes, that makes sense. No cats are mammals. Which one is the right answer? See, they are talking about the birds. They are not no bird is a mammal. So that means in the mammal the bird is not there. But when you have cat, some of the birds are cats. Right? So there is no connection given between the cats and the mammals. So this we cannot put. But some cats are not mammals. Yes, because some cats are birds, na? So it has to be only one. Clear? So now I will ask, these are some of the question types which would come for you. If you have not understood anything now, last 5-10 minutes are left, you can ask me the doubts. I have allowed you to unmute. Boliye.
Madam, PDF document.
You all
Some
can
of us
ask.
we are behind. Some of us we are behind. Like I don't know even how to answer those previous questions you were asking. Hello?
Ask your doubt, something which you want to talk to me about today's class, about the previous class, because I'll be taking your communication skills also, and I take this also.
How
I
were
want
you
to ask
answering those
you,
previous questions?
One by one, please.
How you were answering those previous questions? I was behind,
I
madam.
want to,
Hmm.
Yeah, mom, can you come again on the questions?
Any concept which you have not understood, like
I
rearrange.
wanted to ask you about the previous lessons that you took. I couldn't attend it because they didn't give us the way they didn't give us the way to attend the lessons. So are they was recorded? Can we see it again?
I think it is recorded. It is streamed online on the YouTube, na? So you can see it again. I think. I don't know the link how you can watch, but your.
So for the PDFs, can we download the PDF that you taught us, Anna?
Yeah, you can see it on the video. It's available on YouTube, na?
Okay, thank you.
Hello, madam.
Someone is
Hello?
speaking what you want. Yes, yes, tell me.
Madam, I'm behind about the adjectives.
Because you want to know about adjectives. And then there is
Adjectives.
that can run into decades and centuries. Who's speaking? Please mute yourself. There's some girl who's speaking, mute. Yeah. Now, Kapinga, adjective time mein you were sleeping. I noticed.
Sorry, madam.
Yeah, you were lying down and listening. So that's why you have not made a note of it, right? And then I told you, Kapinga, get up, don't lie down aram se and listen to the class. You sit, be alert in the class and then listen. The adjective is a word which describes or tells something more about the noun or a pronoun. Write it down. Adjective is a word which describes something more about a noun or a pronoun.
Example.
Example, if I say beautiful girl, so beautiful is adjective, girl is noun. If I say interesting class, so interesting is adjective, class is noun.
What is
Okay,
infinitive?
thank you, madam. Hello, madam.
Yes, Rajnikant Chaudhary, what you want to ask?
Nothing, ma'am.
Yes, someone wanted to ask something. Tell me.
I just want to mention that the class wasn't boring. Thank you.
Class wasn't?
Yeah, it wasn't boring.
I think he said he wasn't bored.
Adib, what you were saying?
I said the class wasn't boring.
It wasn't boring. It was interesting. You enjoyed the class. You learned something new.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I want that kind of feedback only. Anytime you feel, ma'am, it is getting boring, nothing going in my head, tell me. We will try to make it very interesting. And the class becomes interesting only when you are quietly listening, taking notes, understanding the concept. If you
Yeah.
and then the class will be interesting. Is it clear? Now the next type of questions which will come for you is.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to know the previous questions. I was missing.
Have they not WhatsApp group that's there?
James, I cannot hear you properly. There is someone who has kept the audio on, so the voice is not coming. Yes, James, tell me.
Yeah, all right. I was asking about the recent questions about the conclusions, premises, whatsoever. I didn't get it properly.
Okay, we'll do some more questions related to conclusion and the statement types in the next class. Slowly, lot of questions we will discuss. You will follow it. But whether you were able to get the previous part, that is arranging the sentences in the paragraph format, that the first sentence will give you the main idea. Second, onwards, all the sentences should give you the connectivity, or it will describe more about the main idea. And the last sentence, it should be talking about the conclusion. That is the conclusion of the entire paragraph. So that will help you to solve the questions which are relevant to rearranging the sentences in the form of a paragraph. When it comes to conclusion and the statement type of the questions, you have to use the Venn diagrams, and you can make one circle where, like, they say all birds are mammals or not mammals, and then you say some birds are something. So make the connectivity circles and write it down over there. With that, it will help you to understand that. Right? I think we have just done the last two questions with just the introduction to the new topic which we will discuss in the next class. So in detail we will discuss about that in the next class. More I will discuss. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
That
I want to ask you about something else.
pardon?
Can we download the PDF that you taught us so we can make our notes right away?
PDF I don't have actually to share with you, but I gave you time to write down, and I will this PPT I will have to ask Ashish about it. I'll tell them that you want this this PPT.
Okay, thank you.
About these questions, I will tell them that you want to have those questions.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay, so I will just speak to them once, and then I will get back to you maybe in the next class. Whenever we'll have the next class, communication skill classes there. No, Tuesday ko I have your class. So that time or in the middle before also, if I have any aptitude class, that time before that I will just definitely discuss with them and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Is there any material already given to you, or just you are attending the classes?
No, this is my first class, so I don't know.
This is the first aptitude class. This is the first aptitude class. What will be shared with
It's the first for you too?
With them, and I'll get back to you in the new class. Okay?
Because the schedule was started on 3 March. 7 March.
Let Adib speak what he's speaking. Let me understand. If everybody will speak, I can what you
Yes. I said the schedule was started in 7 March, but we couldn't attend until today.
okay, fine. We'll continue in the
I,
next
I,
class.
voice.
Thank you so much for attending
can't
the
be.
class. See you in the next class. Bye.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. There's some voice. I can't hear you.
Yeah, somebody is keeping the mic on. So bye.